All right, guys, let's move on. I got a bunch of HOA questions. So Teresa from Dallas, Texas, here has given us some questions, and we got a bunch of HOA kind of questions. So I got one for you, Dylan, and one for you, Scott. So let's start this up here. Do all neighborhoods have HOA? HOA stands for What's HOA stand for? Homeowners Association? Homeowners
Correct.
Association, right? Yeah,
Correct.
okay. Homeowners associations. Do all neighborhoods have HOA? Can you paint your home? Here's what Teresa says. Do all residential neighborhoods have HOA? And what kind of things do they normally ask of you? Can you paint your home a different color? Or are you bound by only the colors of their selection? Do they mow their lawn for you? Do they plant their flowers for you? What, in most cases, does HOA have control over? I've got my Big Island background here, so that's a trigger for you, Dylan. What's your answer on the HOA piece?
This is an impossible question to answer quickly, because there's a huge spectrum of HOAs. You have the really intense, crazy ones who control everything, where the expenses are high and they do everything for you. And then you have the ones all the way on the other end of the spectrum that are basically just exist on paper, collect a couple $100 a month, a year in dues, and maintain the road. They don't care what you do with your house or your lawn or anything like that. So depending on what level of HOA you would like, that's something that we can help with in terms of directing you to the areas that fit kind of what your desires are for an HOA. Not every area has an HOA. A lot of places, older neighborhoods, they may have had one for the first 10 or 20 years and then they expired. And if the homeowners don't renew them, then they just go away. And so there's a huge spectrum in terms of HOA, and you really want to be aware of that before you narrow in on an area to buy.
So Scott, here's your side, and I want to hear your kind of take on that, on those same issues of HOAs. We got a couple of things that are some more specific questions, but I do want to hear about your take on the HOA thing as well. And this is Ken from Nashville, and he says, I check Zillow every day. It appears that condos, townhomes depreciated a lot from 2014 to the 2017 timeframe. If that is correct, I'm wondering why. It also appears that many are coming onto the market right now at the 300K level, 2 bedrooms, 700 square feet range, which I could buy. The listings say HOA is 0. Why do they not show monthly maintenance fees? They must be exorbitant. But if I'm paying cash, maybe it's doable. Your comment. So Scott, give me a sense of, hit the HOA question first that Teresa had given us. What's the range of, what's the HOA thing like? And then what do you say to Ken's questions here about depreciation, prices? Why don't they show HOA fees? I look myself on Zillow, and I usually don't see the HOA fees on those listings. So shed some light here, Scott.
Yeah. So let me start on the HOA portion. All the newer developments out here have a HOA in place. They have a maintenance fee, and the older subdivisions on Oahu don't have them. So you're not going to have a maintenance fee. You're going to be city and county building restrictions and ordinances, so you don't have to worry about that, such as Kailua, In Town, Pololo, St. Louis Heights, etc. The HOAs out on the newer developments, Eva, Kapolei, etc., master plan communities, they will have them, and they can be really strict. I mean, Ocean Point and has specific trees and plants and vegetation. They have a whole list of what you're allowed to have. Anything that's not on that list, you can't have. They've gotten pretty strict out there lately. I've had a couple of fine incidences with clients that I'm trying to navigate them through, because I've created associations and condominiums and stuff. I know that process and how to navigate it. But yes, they have specific paint colors that you're allowed to do. It's got to be approved by the association. And then you have others that are much looser, where it's, and in Ocean Point, for example, they'll take care of the front yard portion because they want this consistent look on that front side. Others are not as restrictive, and they're much looser. Or you get Hawaii Low Ridge on this east side, where it's gated community, and you actually have a gated community within the gated community. So you're paying for that aspect as well. To touch on the Zillow question, this is exactly why I don't recommend people going to Zillow's. It's not very accurate. First of all, what they're trying to do, why they're not showing you maintenance fees, is because they want you to call an agent. They're charging agents advertising fees to get, for advertising for people to call them, and that's exactly what they're designed to do. They're going to give you certain information and not. But to go back,
I never thought about the make you call them angle. I always wondered about that, but
that's what it is. Because
okay.
the reality is depending on the website, we all do a data feed from the MLS, right? That's how we show our properties. It's all data, and it's just that every site is different on how they display that data to the consumer. And we show everything. You can even get solds if you want on our side. But the depreciation portion, actually, when I looked yesterday, we're up 42% on the median condo price since 2011, and we haven't had a down year since 2011. So I don't know where that comes from. 700 square feet for a $300,000 condo is going to be leasehold. And does it matter if you're cash or not cash? Yeah, absolutely. The shorter the lease gets, and Peter, you got 3 really good videos on leasehold on your website that people should check out. But real quick on that financing side, you need 6 more years left on the lease than the length of the, 6 more years left on the lease than the length of the loan that you're going to be getting. So you want 30-year financing on that leasehold property, you need 36 years left on the lease. So, and same thing with 15-year financing, you get 21 years. And the problem with that is obviously you get to a point where you can't get financing on leasehold properties. Thus, that's why the price starts to diminish.
Excellent, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. Hey, let's move on.